Hello and welcome to USG's Club Spotlights. And today we have the Quidditch team with us. We have Ryan and Amelia from the Quidditch team. And welcome, welcome both of you.
Thanks for having us.
Hello.
So I guess I hope you guys have been doing well. And I guess we can start with um, talking a bit about you guys first, and then we can go ahead with the other stuff. So you have floor, or the virtual floor, I guess.
All right, then I'll start. My name is Amelia. I am a fourth year student on the Quidditch team. I was formerly the treasurer and the president on the team, and I've been on the team since my second semester on campus. And it's been a lot of time that I've been on the team, and it's um, my favorite extracurricular activity by far. Quidditch is my favorite sport, and I'm so glad that I was on the team for so long. Yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Sure. I'm Ryan. I'm a third year case, and I'm the three-time captain of the Quidditch team. And my background, at first, I played Quidditch when I was in middle school, actually, and it was weird. We had one of our Spanish professors put it on, interestingly enough, and it was a sport that I really found interesting. It wasn't like anything I'd ever played before. It was like it felt like a mix of handball, a mix of lacrosse, a mix of a lot of different things that I hadn't experienced before. And it was always something that I kept in the back of my mind as something I wanted to do. I tried to found a club in high school to do it, and then when that didn't work out, I luckily when I arrived at Case, I found out we had a Quidditch team, and I joined it quickly, and I've been running ever since.
Wow, that's quite a history, both of you. Um, so it's obvious, like both of you have been in the club for quite a long time, and um, obviously you guys, both of you, love the club and love the sport. And so I guess we can start by what I guess has been your experience with the club in the time you've been in the club.
So Ryan will definitely have a different perspective that I think would be really, really interesting because he's been captain for at least 2 years now. And I handled a lot more of the administrative stuff. But my experience with the team has always been that you show up and you work out. It was always a good place to go to stay active, especially since I've always been super reluctant to do that, and also do it with a bunch of really great people. Um, Even now that we're in the pandemic time, it's still that same thing for me. It's a way for me to actually get some exercise in my schedule when it's been really hard to do that without this proper safety precautions. Um, yeah, that's most of my interactions with the team, and also through being on the exec team, I've gotten to know the people on the club really well, and they are some of the greatest people. So that's how my experience in the club has been.
Sure. Um, Obviously, my experience has been dominated by being a captain, which has mainly entailed running practices and essentially coming up with agendas for each and every in-person workout that we do, preparations that we do for tournaments, that sort of thing. I remember my first year, I was probably defined by the weirdo that came to every single practice and like it just was always there. And then like right when it would end, I would just run off. But starting my second year, I started to become a lot more social with the team, and like I started getting to know everyone a lot more. But in terms of what I actually did, like it was a lot of coming up with plans. It was a lot of just structuring what it would look like for the 2 hour free night a week practices that we would have. It would be coming up with different workouts we could do, different drills that would practice our skills for Quidditch. Just coming up with ways that I could exercise everyone and make it enjoyable to come to Quidditch and make it something that was marketable for us.
That's that's very interesting, both of you. Um, and that really sounds fun and something I think people in our audience would also enjoy. Um, since you guys have been involved with the club for so long, it's the one question that I have is, how did you come about to join up? Like, what made you join the club specifically, or like what tilted the scales in favor of Quidditch, I guess.
So, again, Ryan's story is a lot more interesting than mine because he's actually played Quidditch before coming to college. But for me personally, I was in the marching band, and there was two other people in the marching band who were like, "Yeah, I'm going to Quidditch practice. You want to come with?" And at that point, I didn't have any friends, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll come with you." And it was a great because I got to meet some people, and then like consistently while I was walking to class, people from the team would walk up to me, go hi because they'd recognize me and talk to me a little bit. And I was like, wow, you remember me? And I became friends with them. And that's how I like stayed on the team. And then I think I really fell in love with the sport as I got to know the people. And my position on the team is a chaser. So I really liked doing that. And that's how I stayed in the club.
Yeah, for me, obviously, it came from me having played the sport already and being really intrigued by it. What kept me around was just how much of a workout it was for me, honestly. Like, it was tough coming to Quidditch and doing practice. Like, it was a real workout for me. And like, I was used to before college, like doing a lot of running. I did cross country, and it was just a whole nother experience having to run with a broom between my legs and just having so many different things to think about while I was trying to just play a sport. And it was a really different experience for me. And I had a very similar experience to Amelia, where like over time I got used to like seeing different Quidditch members around campus and having them greet me as I would be going to class. That always that gave it some sticking power for me. And then it was really the family atmosphere that kept me around. Just feeling like I had a lot of friends on the team, and that like everyone cared about me. Um, that was something that meant a lot to me, and it was something that we tried to really market for ourselves after that.
Right. Um, there is one question that really begs to be answered. What is Quidditch? How would you define Quidditch if you had to?
Um, so Quidditch will remind you of a lot of different sports. It has some elements of basketball to it. It has some elements of handball to it. It has some elements of lacrosse to it. Um,
Right. So, um, is it anything like the magical world of Harry Potter?
Yes and no. It's definitely based on the books, so a
Mhm.
lot of the terminology and some of the gameplay is based on the Harry Potter universe's portrayal of it, but it has taken a life of its own outside of the books because even though it's based on it, realistically, the sport in the book was not functional, and we made it functional.
Right. So, while it might not be the same as or similar to exactly what the books or the movies describe, but it still is quite magical on its own, and it's quite its own thing. Am I right?
oh yeah,
Exactly.
and I would say it's a lot more fair to the players. I wouldn't want to play the sport from the book where you would have you would have beaters hitting bowling balls at you with baseball bats. That
Yeah,
seems
that
like a
would be rather
quick way to
unfortunate.
lose all your players.
I agree. What is something that you have learned from Quidditch or from the sport, from the club? What's like the most valuable thing that you've got out of it?
I think for me, it's the value of holding back a bit and knowing your limits. My first year with the club, I went to every single practice, 3 nights a week. I was there the entire time, and that was a bit exhausting. And then my second year, I tried to do the same thing and be even more involved and go to every social event as well. And I got a bit burnt out from it. And I think over this pandemic, I've really learned to pull back a bit and listen to myself when I feel like I'm doing too much, and just if I feel like I can't handle something, either passing it off to someone else or just being more kind to myself and being more reasonable with what is reasonable, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I personally have always struggled with the opposite problem. So I think I've learned how to push myself so that I can be the best version of myself that I can be. Um, During my first and second year, I used to, I didn't, it's no secret that working out is hard, and the Quidditch team was a good place to work out, and therefore I was working out if I went. So I would make excuses to myself and to the team and not show up. But I found inspiration, honestly, in the people that would show up to a lot of the practices, or at least as many as they could. And I was like, I could do that too if I wasn't so averse to really pushing myself, putting myself outside of my comfort zone, and just sucking it up. And yeah, it might suck while you're doing it, but it's worth it. So I started showing up to more practices, started pushing myself a little bit more. Um, I'm even doing that this semester. I've been to every single workout night so far, even when last semester I found myself falling a little bit behind for some of the same reasons, because the pandemic was hard to adjust to for obvious reasons. Um, so that's one thing that I will cherish all the time, like making sure to push myself out of my comfort zone and make sure that I am achieving my potential.
Right. That is really inspiring because um, I totally get why many people might be like you did talk about being burnt out, Ryan, and Amelia, you talked about exactly the opposite of that. And that's really interesting because both of those things are really important given today's given the circumstances we are all in right now. And yeah, that's a really good thing to have in a club or organization, I guess. I guess towards moving forward, like since both of you have been in the club for quite long, and Amelia, since it's your last semester here at Case, um, where do you see the club going? Like in the next semester, next couple of years, what direction do you see the club going?
I know that some of the plans are to transition to more in-person practices as soon as it is safe to do so. And if we do so in a safe manner, um, hopefully we can get in-person practices back in session, because I know all of us really miss it. I know I really miss being able to run around and do the drills and scrimmage with the team. Um, so that's some of our long-term plans, as well as try and show some of the new students who are going to be reintroduced to living in a world where interactions are allowed, to Quidditch, because it's hard to do so whenever we're only in an online setting. But Quidditch is truly one of the best sports, and we hope to show that to a lot of other students as well.
Yeah, going back to the field is definitely in our future. What I'm excited to see is in essentially twice as large of a pool of students that are getting to see clubs at college for the first time, and to see how that changes our club. We have a really good exec board right now, and they're really on top of things. They have a good direction that they're taking the club in, and I'm really curious to see how an influx of new faces can just build upon that and turn the club into what we all hope it can be.
Right. Thank you so much for that. And I really hope you guys can get back on the field soon. And hopefully COVID will spare us and let us all get back to, well, whatever normal will be. I guess my last question to both of you will be, what's your message from Quidditch to the campus community and to all the people who would be definitely looking to join Quidditch after today?
So firstly, excuse me, I would say to follow us on social media. And if they're interested in coming to some of our events, we work out from 8:30 to 10 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we're open to anyone and anyone who wants to come and work out with us. Our links are on, I think, by request, by either email or through DM on Instagram or a Facebook message at Crucio. And we just really would love to see you guys come. We're open to everyone. We're a community that's just waiting to see you.
I think my message to everyone would be, I feel like over the pandemic, a lot of people have huddled down and just closed themselves off from things they would normally do. They've receded into their homes, obviously for fear of the spread. But at least with clubs at college, if you have interest in participating in extracurriculars, there's no reason not to start now. I know Quidditch certainly has been doing events 3 nights a week, really since April of last year. And I would just encourage everyone to look out for opportunities if they're at all interested in them in the future.
Right. Thank you so much. I would really love for people to come check you guys out. And I know I will check you out after this. That's about it for today. Thank you. Thank you, both of you.